The new tap has arrived, and to be fair, it's exactly the same as that one, so whether it's going to be any better or not, I don't know. And the new water pump. I've gone for a whale, depending on the length of the hose, depends on the litrage, but it's a minimum of 10 litres per, is it seconds or minutes? 10.3 litres per minute. So as you'll see in a minute, the rate on this one is like 0.0001 litres an hour, which is why I want to swap out the pump. I've gone for the whale because they're a good make. This one is the standard 12 volt pump. It's actually called Cheap Whale Caravan Submersible Water Pump 12 volt. Yeah, I haven't gone extensive on this because as I'm using it, I'm going to be upgrading it to better stuff. So this is just a quick fix to get functionality going. Alright, so let's have a look at how this is all put together. As you can see, it's a bit of a wobble job, and to be fair, the sink isn't exactly fixed, but it doesn't need to be. It just makes it a little bit easier on this side, so that's what we're going to do today. So watch till the end and see how we get on. Right, so I'm going to show you now what we're dealing with to give you an idea of the water, and then you'll understand why we're going to do it. Right, so today we're getting nothing. That's interesting. Why is that? That's the first thing. It did trickle out the other day, so I'm going to have to investigate that in a second. Right. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to go for it, and I'm going to change the tap because bits are falling off. It's covered in paint. It's proper loose. So I've got a new tap. So first things first, get the sink out, disconnect the tap, and see what we're dealing with. Right. So it's all coming away and stuck with glue and all sorts of stuff, so it's good to replace it, and I have a new one, so might as well use it. Right, that's the old tap out, and there's a little connector block in that to do the electrics, because bits of wire all over the nut end. With a bit of tape is not the best, so we can do it better. We will do it better. And they don't need to be as long as that. It's only 12 volt, so the threads don't go past the board because it's chunky. So that's why you can't screw it down, because the board is very big So what do we do? Right, so we can't screw it down because, as you can probably see, there's the threads, there's the board, so you've got about 1.5 threads there, which is never going to do it. So I've just chiseled out a little bit of board from the underside and thinned it out a bit, so hopefully, let's put all my mess in one place. Hopefully that now will accept the threads. And if it does, we're laughing. Oh yeah, that's it. That's doing it nicely. Of course, it doesn't have to be mega tight, but look at that. Nice and solid. Nice and solid. Okay. Phase 1. Phase 2, hook up the electrics and hook up the water and see what we get. Oops, I've just had water flowing everywhere. So that obviously works. Treat. So top tip, make sure that your tap is actually off. Okay, right, so without further ado, bit of rag, tidy that water up there. Okay, I've got a bowl here, and see, oh, that's not going to work. I've got the, so there's the, that's coming through all right. I think I'm going to have to change out this water pipe as well, guys. Put the retaining clip back on. Put that on there. Let's see what happens. Right, so I've connected my connector block, and this cable is an extension cable that's been put in that goes to the water pump in the water container. So I'm just using the old stuff that's in, I'm just sort of modernising a little bit to get things going. Okay, so now we need to connect the tap to the cable. Now on the Comet tap you have one cable that is completely white and one cable with a black line. Now on my research I've come across two things. One, that this is the neutral, the black and the white, or sorry, the black line on the white is the neutral, and I've also come across a few people that say it doesn't really matter because it's just a microswitch, but I'm going to go for the black line being the neutral, so I'm going to stick that into the blue, which is how I'm going to do my wiring, as all my neutrals are going to be blue. So wire these two up. At this stage the wiring, all we're doing is setting it up. As long as you know which one is which and where it goes for doing the wiring to the pump and to the power source, that's what's important. Okay, so they're wired up nice, and for the purposes of this I'll tidy everything up later, but I'll tuck that out of the way. Now the old water pump is still connected, so sorry about the background noise. Everybody decides to drive around the street as I'm doing stuff. Well, there's the click on the microswitch on the tap, and I've got, oh, that's it. That's the water flow. So without further ado, now I'm going to take off the old pump and we'll reconnect the new one and we'll see what happens. Right, so now next phase is to take out the old water pump and replace it with the new one. So fire extinguisher door opener, get rid of the caggage so I can get to where I need to be. I mean, looking at the state of that pipe, I think might just be in for a bit of a change of pipe as well, because that looks minging. It's been there since probably before the start of time. So just undo it first. And then I can see water is in the pipe, so just gently pull it out. Of course it's... So there's my second handy bowl. Just in cases, right, wiring. Yeah. Yep, that's what you get when you buy something somebody else has done. But again, we can improve it. Right, so first off, I'm just going to disconnect everything. Don't worry about what wires are what, because I have made a little schematic which I will put on screen. So you can see exactly what goes where. But for now, I just want to isolate everything. Get that away. That out. That one out. And so as you can see, the wires are seeing better days, but I'll just tidy everything up as I upgrade the van and redo stuff. Then I will make it a lot better. However, I can't live with that, so we'll change that out. I'll do that right now. By the way, this is the one that goes to the tap. Okay, so we know that's neutral and that's live. Little snips. And then on this one, I've got a split in the wire there. So we might as well smarten that up while we're here. Okay, so that's the tap. This one, I can see the line of it, it goes that way, so this is the power source. So again, we'll just smarten these ends up. Just trim it off a bit. Same on this one. Okay. Right, so first job, take out the water pump and the pipage. So take the lid off, and you will find some water in here, so have a little bucket just to get any drips off. So there's the old pump. So as you can see, that pipe is has seen better days, so we'll replace that. Okay, so move the old water pump out of the way. My new pump. There we go. Okay. So first things first, put that through there and leave that on the floor. Right, so there's all our wiring now. Okay, so just like on Blue Peter, here's some connector blocks I've made earlier so that I can do this a bit better. Right, so the way the wiring works is find my tap wire, which is this one, and now we need to put the neutral. In fact, I'll just put connector blocks on and then we can take it from there. Alright, so I've now got a connector block on the tap live wire, which is brown, and the tap neutral, which is blue. So the neutral switch, sorry, the neutral wire goes to the positive on the pump. The positive is brown, so this is what's going to make the circuit turn on and off. Do that one a bit more. Okay, nice and tight. Okay, so that's the live from the water pump going to the neutral on the tap. Okay, and then the live from the pump will go to the positive of the battery, but we'll do that last. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a connector block onto, oh, there's the postie. Cheers, bud. I'm going to put a connector block onto the neutral of the power source, and that neutral from the power source goes to the neutral on the pump. Well, it will do if I give it a bit of space. So neutral from the pump to neutral on the power source. And that leaves us with the live wire from the tap and the live wire from the battery. So we connect those two up, make some space. And now, theoretically, if I turn on the tap, we should hear the pump go. You can run it dry for a couple of seconds, but don't do it extended periods because you burn the motor out because it needs the water. Alright, so here we go. And typically, as soon as I turn it on, a car drives past. So I don't know if you heard that, we'll do that again. And 1, 2, 3. Pump's working, which is great. So another way to test it is just put it in the bucket and turn it on, and that is pushing water out of there, which is great. So I know the pump works. Now I just need to go and get a bit of pipe because that one is minging and I'm going to have to order some new one, but I do have a section of brand new black pipe which we can fit on just to make sure that we now have running water. Okay, just to recap again, from the microswitch, sorry, from the tap, there's two wires. One is white and one is white with a black line. The one with the black line I've said is neutral. so I've connected that onto my neutral wire, extension wire here. The white one is the the live, and I've put that onto the brown wire on my extension, so I know which one's which. Then we have from the tap neutral goes to the pump positive. So the live on the pump goes to the neutral on the tap. That way you can turn the tap on off, it breaks the circuit. Then you have the neutral from the pump goes to the neutral on the power source. That then leaves two wires, the positive from the power source and the positive from the tap. You can connect them together, so you have 1, 2, 3 separate connections, and Bob's your uncle. Right, so without further ado, I'm going to go and get a bit of pipe. Right, you can't see it, but I've just been and got my bit of black pipe, which I'm just connecting to the tap. I'm going to feed it through and connect it to the water pump. So back there, and there she is. Right, one thing you've got to be careful of when you're doing stuff like this is make sure there's no kinks. As you can see, this is a sturdy pipe. Right, so that's obviously not going to be long enough to get into there because this is only 1 meter long, so easy fix. Is to turn the tank around. Alright, so before I do that, I need to get this through the cap. In fact, what I need to do is make sure that we've got everything working. That's what we need to do. So get that on there first. Then we'll get that in there. We'll worry about the cap later. Okay, so let's have a little test. Just make sure my bucket's where it should be. My bowl, I mean. Alright, so I can hear the pump doing its thing. But there's no water coming out of the pipe, out of the tap. So, Houston, we have a problem. Try that again. Microswitch is working, the tap's on, it's activated the pump. The pump's doing its thing. There's no water coming out of the tap. Right, so bucket, tap, microswitch clicks, tap comes on, water not coming out of the tap. So we know there's power, we know that there is water in the bucket and that the pump works. So let me see if I can just... Okay, what I've done is I've pulled out the pipe and see if there's any water comes out. Okay, so we've got water flow. Turn the tap off and it goes off. Connect that back to the tap. Turn the tap on. We've got no water. Right, so we've identified that we have a problem with getting the water out of the tap, but we know the water's coming out of the pipe. But this was mainly to change out the 12 volt micro switch tap and the 12 volt submersible pump, which we've done. I'm going to put out a wiring diagram round about now. For your notes, and you can see what's what. Okay, so I hope you found this useful. and informative, give us a like, subscribe. The next video will get to the bottom of why this water is not coming out of the tap. So if you've got water flow problems in your motorhome with your 12-volt system, certainly with submersible pump, that's all I'm dealing with at this stage. I'll see you there.